from the slums of Medellín to the top of the cocaine empire. This is the rise and fall of the cocaine godmother, Griselda Blanco. Early life and crimes. Griselda Blanco was born on February 15, 1943, in Cartagena, Colombia, and grew up in the violent slums of Medellín. Her childhood was marked by poverty and abuse. By the age of 11, she was reportedly involved in kidnapping and robbery. First murder. One story claims she kidnapped a wealthy boy at age 11 for ransom. When the ransom wasn't paid, she killed the boy, a chilling act that reportedly desensitized her to violence. This incident didn't lead to immediate punishment but laid the foundation for her criminal tendencies. She quickly grew into a fearless and ruthless personality, which helped her rise in the criminal underworld. Rise to power. Blanco moved to New York City in the early 1970s to escape Medellín's harsh conditions and to expand her criminal activities. She saw the U.S. as a lucrative market for drugs, particularly cocaine. She likely had connections in the Medellín drug trade that assisted her entry into the U.S. However, her rise in America was largely self-driven, as she quickly adapted to the New York drug scene. Establishing herself in the cocaine trade, Blanco began smuggling cocaine from Colombia to the U.S. using creative methods, such as sewing packets of cocaine into custom-made clothing. She recruited trusted mules and bribed officials to evade detection. Her methods included hiding cocaine in brass, girdles, and shoes, allowing her to transport significant quantities with minimal risk. Her operations earned her millions and established her as one of the most successful traffickers in the early days of the cocaine trade. Relationships with cartel bosses. Blanco had ties to the Medellín cartel but maintained her independence. Her relationships with cartel bosses, including Pablo Escobar, were marked by mutual respect and rivalry. She reportedly had a working relationship with Escobar but avoided becoming subservient to him, choosing instead to build her empire independently. Shift to Miami. In the late 1970s, Blanco moved her operations to Miami to take advantage of the booming drug market there. Miami was becoming a major hub for cocaine trafficking, and she saw an opportunity to dominate the market. This move coincided with the Miami drug war, a period marked by extreme violence as cartels fought for control. Violence against rivals. One of Blanco's most notorious acts was ordering a drive-by shooting on a rival cartel member's home. The attack killed not just her target but also several bystanders, including children. This violence cemented her reputation for ruthlessness and sparked further bloodshed in the Miami drug war. Wealth and business expansion. At her peak, Blanco's empire was worth an estimated $500 million. She lived lavishly, purchasing mansions, luxury cars, and designer clothes. She worked with Colombian suppliers and American distributors. Her major customers were often organized crime syndicates in the U.S. She used fake shipping companies, private jets, and corrupted customs officials to move cocaine into the U.S. Arrest and court proceedings. Blanco was arrested in 1985 in California after authorities tracked her through her associates. She was charged with drug trafficking, conspiracy, and multiple murders. Despite evidence, Blanco denied many charges and avoided the death penalty by pleading guilty to lesser crimes. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Influence in prison. While in prison, Blanco continued to manage her drug empire. She used bribery, intimidation, and loyal followers to maintain control. Her network ensured that operations ran smoothly even during her incarceration. Deportation to Colombia. After serving her sentence, Blanco was deported to Colombia in 2004 because she was not a U.S. citizen. Her departure marked the end of her dominance in the U.S. drug trade. Life in Colombia until her death. Blanco lived a relatively low-profile life in Medellín, likely under pressure from rivals and law enforcement. On September 3, 2012, she was assassinated. She was leaving a butcher shop when two men on a motorcycle approached. The passenger dismounted, shot her twice in the head, and fled. The killing was swift, professional, and pointed to her long-standing enemies or unresolved disputes within the criminal underworld. While no one officially claimed responsibility for her assassination, there are few theories. Cartel retaliation. Griselda had numerous enemies due to her violent past, including cartel members and rivals she had crossed during her career. Family feuds or betrayal. Internal family disputes or betrayal by former associates might have led to her death. Old grudges. Blanco had caused countless deaths and turmoil in her time. Her execution could have been retribution for the past crimes. A legacy of power, violence, and tragedy. Griselda Blanco, remembered not just as a criminal but as a legend. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most infamous criminals, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Finesse for more incredible stories from the shadows of history.